In this video, I will tell you about break and join command of AutoCAD. So I will start with the break tool, and you can find the break tool in the expanded modified panel. So select that to expand the modified panel, and here you will find this, the break tool and break at a point tool. So we have these two break tools, and so I will select break at a point in the first case, and now using this tool you can break any object into different parts. So in this case we have this line segment, which is completely a single segment. As you can see that when I have my cursor over these objects, the complete segment is selected. Now let's say that we want to break it into a different parts from its midpoint. For that, I will select the object and now specify the first break point as mentioned in the command line. So let's now click on this midpoint, and now the object is broken into different parts. Now let's select, and now you will notice that we have this as separate segment, and you can obviously remove it. So using the break tool you can break any segment into different parts. Now let's say that we want to create a gap in between these segments, just like this. For that, I will press Ctrl Z to undo the previous command. Let's select break tool once again. In this case, instead of selecting the break at a point tool, I will select this normal tool, and now once again select the object, and now do not select the second point. The command line is obviously prompting you to select the second breakpoint, but don't select it. Click on this first point option, and now specify the first point. So I will select this one and the point somewhere around this as first point. And now I will select the second point somewhere around here, and now you can see the object has been broken into two parts, and also there is a gap. So let's now press Z to get back to original geometry, and I will select the break tool again. So select break tool, and now in this case you need to select the object in a specific way. So let's say that we want to break this object in such a way that the gap is created of this length. So the gap is equal to this length which we have here, approximately equal to this one. So for that, select this object and make sure that you click at a point which is close to this point. So I will click somewhere over here, and by this click the object is selected, and also the first point is assigned here. Now you simply need to select the second breakpoint as mentioned on the command line. Now you need to click close to this point. So let's drag it and click here. And here we have it. So this way you can create the gap of approximately same size on the segments. So I will press Ctrl Z again. Now I will select break tool for this circle. So once again expand it, select break tool and select object. Now we want to break a single quadrant here, and for that I will select first point. And now click at this quadrant point and click second quadrant point, and now as you can see that this quadrant has been removed. So in this way you can use break tool to remove some of the segments from the circle line or any of the geometry. The opposite of this break tool is obviously the join tool, and using the join tool you can join broken objects into a single entity. First I will press Ctrl Z to return this object to its normal shape, and now expand this modifying panel and select the join tool. So here we have join tool, select it, and now here we have a gap. In order to fill this gap we can select the join tool. So click on this point here and close to this gap, and click on this line segment close to the gap, and simply press enter, and now the gap has been filled, and also the object is joined as a single entity. But in this case the object need to be collinear, or they should be on a single line. If the objects were not collinear, the join tool will not work. For example, if I move it a little bit up and then I will try to join it, it won't join the object. As you can see that it failed to join these objects. And now for these situations we have a different tool. If you want to blend this gap, you can use the blend curve. So here we have the blend curve, and select blend curve, and now click to this end point and this end point, and the gap has been filled with a plane. So in this way you can find the gap using the plane tool. Let's say press Ctrl Z a couple of times, and let's look at this geometry. So in this case we have this object as completely separate unit. So we have this line segment, and we have this circle here, here and here. So all of these objects are completely separate. Now if I want to join them into a single unit, you can do that with a join tool. Once again, expand the modified panel, select the join tool, select complete set of objects and press enter. Now click this object. You will notice that complete object is converted into polyline and it is acting as a single unit. So using a join tool, you can join objects which are already connected from end to end. And this was all about break and join tool of AutoCAD.